Greetings, Pilgrims, to episode 19 of the Polygon Pilgrimage. And this week we're going to begin our demo series. And our first tool that we're going to be demoing is called Alchemy. I'll provide this link to their website at the bottom of the page. And as you can see here, it says Alchemy is an open drawing project. And we're going to talk more about what that means, but at the moment just know that Alchemy is a tool designed to aid in the conceptual process. And we're going to go ahead and delve into some of what Alchemy does, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so now that we've been introduced to Alchemy, let's take a look at their website here and briefly summarizing the description of what Alchemy is. This is as I said, it's an open drawing project. This is not meant for final art pieces. That's not the goal of Alchemy. Alchemy is designed for experimentation, for exploration. And through a combination of randomness and serendipity, we're going to come up with some interesting shapes that we can then take and turn into finalized art. Now on their website here, you'll notice that when you come to the home page, here's a video to describe it, the text description. Second option down here is the download. And in the downloads here, you have multiple platforms that are supported. Windows, Mac, and Linux. So it's quite robust as far as the systems that it can run on, and they do keep a previous version history. If there was one version that you liked better than another for some reason, you can get that here. And of course there's documentation on the tool, videos, and you can always go to the forums and ask questions. But I'm going to show you pretty much how it works in some of my favorite settings. So let's go ahead and take a look at the interface. Alright, so here I've launched Alchemy, and when you first look at it you think, oh no, it's just a pure white screen. What did I do wrong? Did I not install it properly? No, you did just fine. This is the main drawing canvas here, and when I raise my mouse up to the top here, then you'll see the menu pops down. This is to keep it out of your face while you're working, and it's a really good design. You have to go pretty much right up to this bar for it to appear. So looking at the menu here quickly, what we have is your standard file menu, edit. You can change the view and some of these other settings and the help. This is all pretty standard stuff, and the text, the description of it will pretty much tell you what it is you're looking at. The real power of Alchemy though is in these settings here. And what these do is the clear button will clear your canvas, which it's clear right now. The create will determine what type of a shape are you making. Now this is pretty interesting because you can create all different kinds of shapes. And my favorite are the pool shapes, but you can also create regular shapes, so you can just freely draw. You can change your style to be a thicker line, so when I create like this, see, it's more like a lasso effect. You can change the transparency so that I could create multiple shapes that overlap one another. There we are. And now what you can also do is change your line weight if you were doing a line. Go back to the line, there we are. So you can see thicker line, so you have all kinds of options here. And the real power though, let me clear the canvas. The real power is in these effects. So you have a displacement, gradient, mirror. This is a godsend for anyone who's doing character design. You just slam this mirror button, and as you draw, now I start to draw the head of a character or whatever, oh, that looks pretty funny. So as you're drawing, it's going to auto mirror for you, which is really awesome, and I wish that Photoshop had more tools like this, because this would be so much easier when you're designing something to have a mirror function built right in. So let's clear that stupid looking thing. So let me go over some of my favorite settings with you, and we'll do that in the next section. What I usually do is I like to let Alchemy do what it does best and give me some random things, and I kind of randomly click around, and it allows me to really create some interesting shapes. So we're going to focus on randomizing a concept for a character, and we're not really going to worry about what kind of character. We're going to let Alchemy, we're going to let the creative ether tell us. So first what I do is I'll change my transparency down to somewhere in this range. I do like to work with the thicker style. I'm going to go to effect and definitely turn on mirror. Create, I'm going to use pull shapes. I was going to say pull down to pull shapes, but that sounds kind of funny. And you have a couple different options here. There's bones, circles. I like parts. the parts really looks like a series of engine parts or mechanical components. And I use this primarily just to get sort of the angular look that I like. I'm not necessarily trying to build a robot, but it tends to look sort of like that. And you'll see what I mean. So now with all those settings, all I'm going to do is just click and drag semi-randomly, and it's going to give me these shapes that will overlap one another. And you can quickly see how you could start to see like a face in there, or you know, as I draw more here, like that looks kind of like a interesting crown, like a king's crown. And I just start pulling and drawing, and you can create some amazing things rather quickly, and you know, do some over here, and it's going to mirror, but if you want to create some original shapes, and I'll just start pulling around and trying to create something that looks neat, you know, and try and this is a great exercise to pull ideas out of a randomized design. So you can create some really fantastic stuff, and some of the best of the best, they get some of their base ideas from a randomized design, and then from there they use their artistic skill to take that to the next level. So I'm going to clear this and just go through a couple times and come up with something interesting here. And you'll notice that one of the powers of Unity, or I'm sorry, of Alchemy, I was just working with Unity, is that Alchemy does not have an undo. There's no undo. Where did it go? Well, it's on purpose. The idea here is that you're going to create things, and you're just focusing on creating, not on creating something. You just want to embrace that creative process and learn and grow and experiment and try. And in trying, you're going to fail, you're going to succeed, but all of those experiences are valuable. And as we create things here, we come up with ideas, and you're going to get some amazing stuff. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to save this out, and I'm going to take it into Photoshop, and I'll show you how we take this and use this to create something. And I can see a couple of things in here that we're going to create from. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll see you guys in the next section. Alright, so now that we have our design here, let's go ahead and get this into Photoshop. So from here I'm going to go File, Export, and I'm going to just call this Episode 19 Doodle. And we want, I'm going to take a PNG transparent and say Save. And then I'll plop that here on my desktop. There it is. And I have Photoshop open here, so let's go ahead and open that from the desktop. There we are, Doodle, awesome. And now when this loads here, you'll notice that I told it to be transparent, so right now it looks a little strange, but I'm going to add a layer beneath that, make it white, and now it should look just like it did in Alchemy. So what I do from here is really rather simple. I'm going to add a layer above that's transparent. I'm going to switch to black, and I've already lowered my drawing pen tool here pretty small, but I'm going to make it a bit smaller. There we go. And now I'm just going to zoom in where I think I see something and start drawing. And for that, I'm going to use, I have an attached Wacom tablet here. And so let me do a little test scribble. There we are. Okay. So what I do is I just look at these random shapes and kind of see what's in there. And a couple things I see right away. So I'm going to, for each layer here, I'm just going to call this, this one's going to be called King, because what I'm seeing here is this looks kind of like a head of maybe a tiger or a lion king, and he has a broad chest here, and these look like his massive fists in the foreground. Now, what you can do is you can look at this in sort of a literal or a figurative, and I kind of combined the two for this. So here you can see this looks kind of like the nose of like a lion right here, and if you follow this straight down, you know, these would be his very cat-like features here, and some whiskers coming off of this and off of this. And this is still conceptual, so don't worry if it doesn't come out looking perfect, no pun intended. But up here, yeah, if I kind of flatten off the brow, and you see here these could be some big bushy king-like eyebrows, and here's the beginning of his eyes right here on either side. See, this is where Photoshop needs a mirror option. I'm sure there's some plugins out there to do that. And then this would be the rest of his head here. So I just start kind of sketching around, and I'm going to speed up a little bit here, and we're just going to work around and say here's some armor on his shoulders and his big broad chest here in the middle, and we'll work out some muscle structure through this area here. And so I'll just kind of follow along what I think looks like the shape, and then here I'm going to interpret this, and instead of, I thought maybe this could be a fist with these large decorative sort of gauntlets, but instead I'm just going to tell myself that this is the general fist area. So it's like he's got these massive hands kind of maybe in the foreground sort of thing, like he's, you know, right there, right in your face, you know, I'm the king, don't mess with me. So that's one thing that you can do here, and I'll just kind of, you know, you can hide that, and then when you hide that, then you can look at it differently. And so you can create multiple things out of one thing. So let's try and do his king's sigil. So here, if you look here, this looks kind of like an eye. This is a really cool shape here. So let me trace this out a little bit. Let's go up instead of under. And we'll start to kind of shape this out. Here's in here, and I'm going to follow this line down, and maybe this is the nose of the sigil. There we are. So if we were to keep this going and kind of close this off, oh, there's a nice little spiked shape. Look at that. So just from that, just from the same drawing, I haven't loaded any of the files. You've seen me 100% of the time. If I were to mirror this over now and cause this to be like an eye, and we darken this in, we can really get this cool kind of mean looking sigil of the king's honor guard or something. So, you know, I'm creating all these things just sort of on the fly, and I can come up with lots of ideas really quickly and then pass those ideas along to anyone that I'm working with, or just for myself, kind of put them in a folder and say, here's what you came up with. So over here I see something that looks kind of like a horse. So right here, this reminds me kind of like a horse's head, or maybe like a piece of armor on a horse. So I'm going to trace that out to remind myself this is what you saw. And there's a couple pieces here. This looks pretty cool. This actually reminds me of that English, the Ankh. See right here, like English, Celtic, Welsh. I forget exactly which, but see right there. I can trace that out. So maybe this would be like a breastplate for the horse. So I'll just draw in here like a little strap, the breastplate for the horse. And here's another piece of overlapping armor. And here's a nice place where it can kind of hinge. You can create some awesome stuff here with, you know, so this could be some design for the king's steed, you know. So it's really great to have this ability to come up with all these wild and crazy ideas all at once, and then just start exploring. You know, art should be fun all the time, and there are times when you're modeling something that it's tedious. So it's really nice to take a break sometimes, or if you feel like you're in a creative rut, this is a wonderful program, Alchemy, in order to just explore and play and really get back to the joy of the art. So I encourage you to give it a try. Oh, here's another face. Look at this. Look at this face. Got some eyes here, and you know, here, see, I'm too busy playing and enjoying myself to finish my sentence. But look at that. There's a big old mouth like, So have fun with it, enjoy and play, and just sort of, you know, look into the untapped hidden potential that exists within yourself and within the mind's eye. So enjoy this, and send me some of the cool stuff you guys are making, and together maybe we'll have a contest or something. See who can come up with the best design out of, you know, a user voted random alchemy drawing. And as always, continue to get better, and please enjoy the quote at the bottom of the page, and I will see you guys next time as the pilgrimage continues. I'm going to keep drawing. This is fun.